Hello and welcome to this video. We're going to run through the passive voice together. Now, you have to bear in mind that the active voice is often referred to as the normal voice, so the voice that you will use a lot. However, the passive voice is necessary as sometimes we don't always have the active subject. The active subject might be unknown. So let's run through some lingo before highlighting when to use the passive voice. So back to the active voice here. This is the structure of a simple sentence, so with one clause. You'll have the subject, followed by the verb, and an object. So in this sentence, the object receives the action of the verb. Sandra, subject, has bought, my verb, and the tickets, the object. Now all those elements are important in the active voice. However, in the passive voice, things change. So we're going to use the example above, switch the order, and change the tense. So as you can see here, the subject of my active voice, so we're going to call it the active subject, is now the passive agent. So it's introduced by the preposition by. By Sandra, the subject becomes the passive agent. The object becomes the passive subject, so the subject of my passive voice. The tense here changes slightly, but we'll see that in the second half of this video. And here, as you can see, I've placed the passive agent between brackets. Why is it in brackets? Because it's not always important in the passive voice. So back now to our 3 bullet points here. When do I use the passive voice? I use the passive voice when I want to give all the importance to the active agent. So the importance is given to the object of my active voice, which is now at the beginning of my passive sentence, my passive voice. The importance is given here to the tickets. The active subject can also be unknown. In this example, it's not true, but I can simply remove it if I don't have that information. I can simply say the tickets have been bought. Maybe a clearer example would be, I had my wallet stolen. It's passive because I do not have the subject of that action. So I do not have the active subject available. And finally, when do I use the passive voice? I use it simply when I want structure variety. As we said before, the active voice is what I will use quite naturally, so it's very common. So if I want more variety, I will then use this passive voice. And I'll also use it for flow. So if I want to take the object from my previous sentence and transform it into my subject, it will give more flow to my written work or my speech. So now, just before we head to the second part of this video, a few hints for you here, a few recommendations. Please review your past participles, notably for the spelling of the regular past participles. Please go over your irregular verbs, we'll be using them a lot. And finally, if you don't know all your tenses off by heart, please do a brief tense review before watching the second half. So now let's look at the transformations. When going from the active voice to the passive voice, what happens to the tense? What tense should I use? What verbal form do I have? It's very simple. In this particular example, we have no agent, no passive agent. So we're just going to have our subject. So in our passive voice, it will be the passive subject, plus the auxiliary to be, plus the past participle of the main verb. In this particular case, our main verb is extend, so the past participle is extended. So this is my active voice here in black. In purple, we have indicated the tense, which is used. And then we're going to use that tense here for the auxiliary to be in our passive, plus the past participle, so extended in this particular example. First tense, simple present. They extend her visa, active voice. We create the passive voice, her visa. We want this tense, simple present, for our auxiliary, is, plus our past participle, extended. Her visa is extended. Same formula for all the tenses. Number 2, present continuous. They are extending her visa. We want this tense for our auxiliary. Her visa is being, plus past participle, extended. Her visa is being extended. Number 3, simple past. They extended her visa, active voice. we create the passive. Her visa was, we want that tense, plus this, was extended. Her visa was extended. Number 4, the present perfect. They have extended her visa. Passive, her visa has been extended. Has been extended. Number 5, the past perfect. They had extended her visa. The passive, her visa had been extended. Number 6, the simple future. They will extend her visa. Passive voice, her visa will be extended. Next one, future perfect. They will have extended her visa. Passive voice, her visa will have been extended. Penultimate noun, simple conditional. They would extend her visa. The passive, her visa, would be extended. And finally, the conditional perfect. They would have extended her visa. We transform. It becomes her visa would have been extended. So that's it. That's all you need to know. Thanks for watching.